Welcome to today's episode. This is Kareps. Today we want to talk about uh, the demand for bed sitters and one bedrooms. Many people have complained that the demand for bed sitters and one bedrooms is very high, and actually the supply is very low. Actually, on our list of demands and requests, bed sitters are ever leading, followed by one bedrooms, and then skips two bedrooms and comes to three bedrooms. Now, what is the reason? The reason is because most investors in Kakamega have all gone into two-bedroom construction. Now, there's a gap that has been left out, especially for the young people graduating from the universities, from colleges, and those who are starting the jobs fresh in towns. Now, this is the gap where now bed sitters and one bedrooms are coming in plenty. Requests are so many, the demand is so high, supply is so low. Also, in most cases, if you have read a few of our articles that in the recent times, you will realize that we have encouraged as many landlords, investors to go into bed sitters and one bedrooms. And if you were to construct one bedrooms and bed sitters, try to do modern housing, spacious housing, enough parking, put current or modern amenities. If possible, you can also put Wi-Fi. There's no problem if you are to add some charges for the Wi-Fi, as long as you give the comfort to your client. Clients have no problem to pay for anything if they are getting the quality for it. Actually, now, there's another thing, of course, that we shall try to expound later. The demand vis-a-vis the construction. Some will keep on comparing Nairobi and Kakamega, why and housing in Nairobi should not be expensive, should not be cheaper than, should not be, Kakamega should not be expensive than Nairobi. But there are parameters that sometimes we look at. For example, a construction stone in Nairobi costs maybe in Thika at only 25 bob. Now, if you were to add transportation, maybe let's add 5 bob for transportation, that's 30 bob per stone. The same stone in Kakamega to be transported to Kakamega goes to 85 shillings. Now, how do you compare a stone in Thika at 30 shillings and a stone in Kakamega at 85 shillings? These are two investors incurring completely two different costs. Let's talk about cement. We have factories in Thika, we have factories in Rift Valley and Nakuru, which is a little bit cheaper and closer to someone who is constructing in Nairobi, someone who is constructing in Thika. Now, compared to the same guy constructing in Kakamega, cement that was bought at 400 shillings or 500 shillings in Thika is being sold in Kakamega at 750, 850. How much are we talking about? An addition. Now let's make that into multiplication. We are the same clients are constructing the same number of units, exactly the same everything. Let's take an average of 1,000 cements being used. The person in Thika is buying cement at 400 shillings, or let's say 500 shillings times 1,000, that is 500,000. The person in Kakamega is buying that cement 1,000 bags at 850. That is an additional 350,000. Now tell me, you want a house in Nairobi to be cheaper than the house in Kakamega, constructed with the same materials, same size, everything. Now another thing, labor. Kakamega has no skilled labor. Nairobi has enough skilled labor. Person who is constructing in Nairobi will not have any difficulty to source for the labor. In fact, skilled labor, in fact, they will come. Then he'll have a list to choose from, to pick from. They have come 5 of them. In Kakamega, you are struggling with our mtu wa mkono, who are now calling themselves fundi. They do for you a job and it is pathetic. Now, the only option for you to get quality work is to import skilled labor from other cities, Nairobi, Kisumu, Nakuru, or Mombasa. Now that person, for you to import that skilled labor, One, you'll have to pay accommodation, an extra from the Nairobi one. You'll have to pay extra some fee. You'll have to pay that person an allowance, let me say disturbance allowance, because he lives in Nairobi, so he feels Nairobi is more comfortable. And if you have to convince him to come to Kakamega, you'll have to add him. So if the person, the skilled labor, the fundi, the engineer was to do a job in Nairobi that they will pay him 10,000 per day, you'll pay him in Kakamega 15,000 per day. 5,000 is just extra disturbance allowance for you to convince that person. Now, I think now we are coming to a point where you will easily see the differences here. Now, the only thing that we beseech is more people, more skilled labor to settle in Kakamega so that we have readily available labor. That way, we shall break the gap. Thank you for today. I'm Victor Anand.